On the wrong pipe. Wrong pipe. Whew. I hope everybody is doing well. There is nobody on the live right now. Whew. So I will give my gratitude, as I always do, thanking the Most High for another day. I was talking with somebody earlier about gratitude, and we were talking about getting rid of character defects. And so what we decided we would do is look at some of the things that are plaguing us, hindering us from living a full, fulfilled life. What is hindering us from getting there? And how, and what's the opposite of that? And then in between that, what do we do to get to that point, right? And so one of the things that we're working on is, one of them was, let's see, judgment, opinion, right? Being judgmental and opinionated. And what's the opposite of that? It's really just peace, letting go, accepting others and ourselves for who we are and where we're at, right? Hey Riaz, how are you? And so what we came up with, how do we get to that point of not judging and then getting to a place of where we just accept things for what they are? The top answer when we went over all these things really was prayer, right? Because a lot of our habits are ingrained in us, and our brain and our flesh has a really great memory, and it likes for us to stay there. It likes for us to stay complacent in what's comfortable for us, right? So in order to get to that point where you're better, we have to implement some things, right? Consistency over intensity. Just constantly doing the right thing, even if it's a little bit, every single day, makes it easier. So prayer was one. Refocusing was another. You know, when those negative thoughts about ourselves or others pop into our head, what can we do to get out of that space? What are some things you guys implement to get out of that space when you find yourself looking at somebody else or even judging yourself? What do you do to get out of that negative space, to think more positively, so that you can stop being so judgmental and opinionated about other people? One thing I suggested was to know thyself. Know our triggers. Know what irritates us, what bothers us, what makes us feel good, what makes us feel bad. Once you know these things, you can avoid it because you can see it coming a mile away, right? But when we let it get to that point where we're already triggered and our blood is boiling, it's up from there, right? Hey Dave, how are you? So to know thyself and to know how we're going to react in certain scenarios is very, very key. I think another reason why we are judgmental and very opinionated is because we have control issues. We want others to do what we want them to do when we want them to do it. Hey, Chris Jones. I'm blessed and not stressed. I know that's right. That's awesome. So prayer, consistency, accepting things as they are, letting go of control, especially of other people's lives. We have so much to say about other people. And a lot of times the people that are the most judgmental and the most opinionated, haven't done the introspection. They haven't looked inside, you know. And so we tend to allow external circumstances to affect us. Today's gym, you don't have to be great to start. But when you have to start, but you have to start to be great, that's right. Just a drop in the bucket every day. Just a little bit goes a long way. And it adds up. One drop in the bucket, next thing you know, that bucket is full. That's key. That's wisdom right there. And so I just want us all to be better. It's a new year. I mean, God truly did not have to wake us up today. Like he really did. And there's so many people that didn't wake up today. There's a lot of people that woke up dead today, right? But we didn't. We're here, which means we still have purpose. So if we woke us up today, that means we still have purpose. We have a reason to be here. And that means God hasn't given up on us just yet. We need to take advantage of that. One day at a time. God knows we're human. He created us. He doesn't expect us to turn a new leaf in a day. But he does expect us to have obedience. And once you have obedience and you implement that every day, it gets easier. And that's how we show him that we're grateful for him waking us up this morning. So anyways, I had a homework assignment yesterday. The 3 keys to life are knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. KWAs. KWUs, my bad. I'm thinking of something for the military that we used to call. But yes, that is key. Those are the 3 keys. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge is the information, right? That you get from wherever. Wisdom is actually implementing it. That's being wise. Understanding is to fully take it in. Not just read it, not just do it, but actually understand why it's important to be doing whatever it is that you learn. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, absolutely. So my assignment, hey Cree, my assignment was about meta messages. Meta communication, right? So you guys all know that nonverbal communication is secondary to just talking, verbal. Like a person can tell you something, but you may not understand the extent of what it is that they're saying without seeing their body language or hearing their tone, pitch, cadence, speed, all of that, right? So my assignment was, tell me a time when your leader, boss, supervisor, whoever, their meta messages, their verbal communication was incongruent with their meta messages. Because you could tell your kid all day, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, but if you don't put no bass in that voice, if you don't have a scowl on your face, if you're not saying it with authority, it doesn't land the same, right? So my example, there was 3 different examples, but my example was my troop, my subordinate, closed the clinic early one day, right? Now, normally he would get the opportunity to leave early because he lived across the bridge. He had to go through a tunnel on the bridge to get home. So as long as he did all his work, he helped everybody else out before he left, he could leave 15 minutes early so he could beat that rush hour, right? Because he had a wife and 2 small kids at home. No problem. But on this day, there was nobody left in the clinic. I was at a meeting and all the nurses who were civilian had left. So he was the only one left. So rather than him doing the right thing and stay behind until the clinic closed at 5, he left at his normal time. without regard for patients that may call or anything, right? He was being quite selfish. So he left, locked up the clinic at like 4:45, like he normally does. And as soon as he left, what happened? A patient called. And not only did that patient call and call and call and call and not get a response, they decided to be a snitch and to go to the hospital commander and be like, hey, I've been calling the GI clinic and ain't nobody answering. Now, first of all, people that wait until the last minute to go into a business or call right before everybody's about to get on my nerves. But I digress. These are older people, most of them, and it is what it is. Nevertheless, it got all the way up to leadership. So my immediate supervisor, who was my flight chief, was a very stern E8. I'm talking about never smiles, she's pretty badass. Pulls me into her office and she's like, hey, Sergeant G, there was an incident. Can you explain what happened? And what do you guys think I did? Knowing me, what do you think I did? You're right. I did not take accountability. I put all the blame on that damn airman. I said, yes, ma'am. Airman such and such, he was supposed to stay, but he left early. It's all his fault. But and although she was excusing it, she said, I understand, he normally leaves, got it. I could still see the meta communications in her. It was the nonverbals that cued me in, right? It was the low tone. It was the lower shoulders. It was that look of, really? How are you at E6, E7, and you putting all the blame on this dang on 3-striper, right? So, as the receiver of information, it is also your job to look at not only what is being said to you, but also what is not being said to you. And how do you figure that out? By looking at all of the other external factors. The pitch, the tone, the attitude, the facial expressions of the person that is relaying the information to you. So with that, I could tell she was disappointed. So I knew I had to do something. I said, you know what, ma'am? Ultimately, it's my clinic. I was responsible. I should have communicated better to him. Hey, it's only going to be you on this day. You're going to have to stay till 5. And that's just that. But I didn't do that. I don't even think I thought about that, right? When I went to my meeting. I don't think I even considered it, right? Which was bad on my fault as a leader. You're supposed to cross all your T's and dot all your I's, and I didn't do that. So what I did was I took accountability. And as I took accountability, her face lightened. It brightened a little bit. And her shoulders came back up, and she appreciated me understanding that at the end of the day, even though this individual did that, you are ultimately in charge of the whole thing. So if they F up, it's on you. And so I was excused, and I made sure to tell her it would never happen again, and it did not, okay? Because she wasn't nothing to fuck with at all. But I thought it was an interesting exercise because at the end of it, very true, had to learn that the hard way. Yeah, listen, most lessons, most of us have to learn the hard way, right? Most of us don't come out of the womb being wise and saying, ooh, I see how that didn't work for him. I'm not going to do that, do that. No, a lot of us have to go through it ourselves and learn the hard way. And I tell you what, being in the military taught me so much about discipline and so much about being able to deal with different people and different personalities and taking accountability more than anything. The sad thing about that accountability piece and being in the military is that sometimes we take accountability for things that really aren't even our fault. And so it's hard to get out of the fact that no, what that person did was effed up. Because in the military, you're taught to take account for everything that happens, whether it was your fault or not, which I think is important to understand your role in things, but it's not always the best way to look at things because you don't give yourself grace. And giving yourself grace is really important, because if God gives us grace, who are we to not give it to ourselves? You know, some people take it overboard and give themselves too much grace, right? And then they don't want to take no accountability. But there's balance to everything. Everything should have a happy medium. Understand where you went wrong, understand that they messed up too, and then figure out a happy medium. Take accountability for your part while understanding that what that other person did was effed up. I think that's the key. Look at GB. What it do? So yeah, meta communications, meta messages are very important. Don't just listen to what people are saying. Pay attention to the nonverbals, the tone, the pitch, the cadence, the emphasis on certain words, because all of it means something. And then the last question, it was 4 total, but the last question was, do you think it's okay for leaders to hold back, to withhold information? Is it ever okay for a leader to withhold information? And from my experience and from some of the sources that I gathered, absolutely. Because number one, you don't know who you're dealing with. You never know. My response was that I think every case is different. You should take that as a case-by-case basis. It's just like being a parent and having your child. You may be highly disappointed in them, but is this right now the time to kick them while they're down? Probably not. Everything is a case-by-case basis, not to mention the fact that they can tell that you're disappointed in them just by all of the meta messages. Why do you also have to vocalize you effing up when you literally just told them, I know you could do better? You know, sometimes you don't know who you're entertaining. Absolutely. You don't know who you're entertaining. So I said, you know, case-by-case basis. It also depends on the mood of the sender and the receiver, whether that extra information is needed to be said, and other variables. Sometimes people aren't open to receive whatever it is that you're saying. Now, that doesn't absolve a leader from being honest. That doesn't absolve a leader from holding their workers accountable. Yeah, I'm on my Tupac today, okay? It doesn't absolve leaders of communicating effectively. However, communication is something that takes a lot of effort, and you have to consider a lot of things, especially going into a meeting. You have to make sure that the message you are sending is congruent with what it is that you want to convey. And that's easy. You just have to know your audience. If I know I work with somebody who's a hothead, I got to approach it from a whole different standpoint, right? So just be mindful of who it is that you're talking to, how much you disclose, and the right time. Timing, I believe, is everything. I'll let who jump scholar. What happened? Why you ain't pull up? Because you went live at 12:30. What are you talking about? I need some of y'all to go see Gary Brown. You've been doing real good, my brother, and I appreciate you. You've been going live during the day. I can catch that. But Scholar want to wake up, go to the gym, work a 12-hour shift, then take night class, and then want to hop on the live at like 1:30 in the morning. Where they do that at? I'm not waiting up to go live at 1:30 in the morning. It's not happening. They jumped you on your panel. Was the same girl there that cussed your ass out the other night on there? I like her. She got in that AZZ. I was like, yo, she had you stunned. She had you stunned. And I love it. But I do like the fact that you kept composure the whole time. Sister, I don't got calcium in my bones. Oh no. What they got to do with you going live at 1:30? You see how you be deflecting? One thing ain't got nothing to do with the other. You guys see that? Communication. It's key. It's key. You got to stay on topic. Gots to. You're at work now, and I know, you got a whole full day. And the only time you got is at night when you probably should be sleeping. And then you wake up late, getting to work late because you was on a live arguing with a panel. Priorities, my brother, priorities. I was listening to a guy earlier. I really like this dude because, first of all, he reminds me of home. True Media 777. He's from Cali. I got a feeling he's from LA because he got that heavy Cali accent. Love it. Anyways, he was talking about content creation and how everybody just follows trends and people just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I understand that if you have a niche, you want to stick to it, right? But don't be mad when people stop watching and want to see something different and then come back later, you know? But everybody jumps on the same topics and they cover it. And I think that's cool because sometimes something salacious might happen and I may just want to hear from my favorite YouTuber, like, ooh, I wonder what she thinks. I wonder what he's going to say about this, you know? But at the end of the day, it's oversaturated with the same thing over and over again. And it's okay to pivot, you know, because guess what? As a human, I have the right to go in and change my algorithm and start looking up other stuff. I don't have to go back and watch those people. Do I want to support? Sure. But guess what? There will be new people funneling in to take my place. Scholar says, you grinding now. Only going to motivate me more. That's what's up. No calcium, no retreat. Yep. I went to the gym earlier, guys. Friend of mine has a new gym membership, and so I was able to go as a guest and sit down and talk to the fitness director. This chick was buff, right? I mean, you could tell she's healthy. And she did a body scan for both of us. I got my paperwork right there. And so it breaks down, you know, how much body fat, how much water weight you're carrying, a whole host of things. And we literally just talked about like our desires in life and what our desires are when it comes to fitness, you know? And what it comes down to me, honestly, is just being able to be here for my son. You know, I have a minor child and I want to be around long enough to see him get older and start his own family and build a career and have children so that I could be a grandma, you know? At the same time, I got baby fever and I want a baby. Because every time I see a baby, my heart just melts. But it was very inspiring because she made me speak about things that I probably never said out loud. You know, as far as what I desire. What am I looking forward to? What do I, you know, what's the purpose of all this? You know, health over wealth. Health is wealth. So we spent so much time talking to her that we didn't get a chance to actually exercise. And I drank my whole energy drink like a dummy. So I came home and I'm like, I gotta burn it. Hey, team. So I gotta figure out a way to burn these calories. I'm just glad I have an elliptical machine at home so that I could do that until I can get back to the gym. But yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of opinions, a lot of perspectives, and I just caution everybody to build your own perspective before you listen to somebody else. Because as humans, we have a tendency to want to fit in. We have a tendency to want to belong. And we like to have somewhere to call home. But in that, we lose our own identity, you know? And one of his main points was that people aren't original anymore, and it's true. You hear the same talking points over and over again. And at some point, that shit gets boring, right? Rarely ever do you hear an opposing viewpoint. And I think that's what we're missing in social media. You have a lot of the same people jumping on the same bandwagon without going through all the stages of critical thinking. And I like to hear opposing perspectives and viewpoints and opinions when it is not offensive. Now, unfortunately, when you speak the truth, a lot of times, you're going to be offensive to somebody. When you being honest and keeping it 100, it's going to offend somebody, right? But I think where it comes from makes a huge difference. Is it coming out of a place of love, or is it coming out of a place of hatred and division? And I think a lot of times people post things and say things because they're passionate about that at the moment, right? You know? And that's okay. But be prepared for somebody to not agree with you. And if they don't agree with you, it's okay. That's why this channel is called More Perspective. If you're new here, hit the like button, subscribe, and come back. Stay a while and add to the conversation, because that's the only reason why I'm here, is to add to the conversation and to get other people to add to the conversation. But when you're keeping it 100, there's going to be somebody that's going to feel a certain kind of way. And rather than just shooing them off, I think it's important to have the dialogue, you know? But people are so stuck in their ways because of their arrogance, their ignorance, their age, their culture, their own demons that they're battling, their insecurities. They're not able to be open-minded to hear what another person has to say. And even if they're open, they'll just block it, and that's fine. But I think we need to get to a point where we don't agree, but can agree on something. Come to the middle and agree on that, because friendships get torn, families get torn, all because of people's bullheaded opinions. And at the end of the day, those opinions don't mean shit. Only to you. They only mean something to you. Because half of the stuff that I see doesn't make me a better person. Just keeping it real. A lot of it doesn't change my day to day. GB says the truth can set you free or keep you deeper in despair. Yeah. But the truth is supposed to set you free. The truth is not supposed to make you beat up on yourself and keep you in that closet. No, the truth is supposed to help you look at what it is and do something about it. You know? But it's so easy for somebody to say something negative and then you take it and internalize it because your life may fit into a category of what they said and use that as a reason to be a victim. You're not a victim, especially if you're grown and especially if you already have children. You're not a victim. What up, Lee Turner? Chitting and loose. Crushing grapes, I wish. Make me some nice wine. You know, but what do you guys think about what I've said so far? I ain't just up here for my health. I mean, I am, but at the same time, I would appreciate some feedback and what you guys think about differences of opinion and forming your own opinion before. I know sometimes when something crazy happens online, I go to the original source of what it was said, right, crickets? That way I can think about it. Let me find out all the facts as much as I can before I listen to it. Because what happens is I may go to such and such channel, hear their point of view, and I'm like, right, that's right. Right, what up, South 343? Rather than forming my own opinion when there's been times where I saw something happen, I read as much as I could, went to the original source, formed my own opinion, and then the first thing that I watched that reacted to it, I was like, oh, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. But who's to say they're wrong? They could be right and I'm wrong, right? But I think it's important to know yourself. It's important to understand how you feel about things. Not just take on the thoughts and opinions of somebody else. You know? There's like a lot of people. Sorry, you guys. Feel bad for Darlene from the 5150 show, right? And me personally, I'm glad she got her nigga wake-up call from Corey Holcomb. Because Poetic Flakko, if you guys ain't seen Poetic Flakko's PDF file compilation of Corey Holcomb, I never watched the show. I was always a fan of Craig Fax, who's a co-host on his show. I used to watch Craig Fax and Dewan and them years ago, right? Even bought some of Craig Fax's music, right? Because I think he's a great rapper. Until I started noticing that Craig Fax is a colorist and just his comments would just be atrocious at some time. Like, yo, what is this nigga on? So I remember one time I made a comment and he responded back like, what did I say wrong? Since I was like, you know what the hell you said wrong, right? But we can have that dialogue. You can see what a person is saying that you may not agree with and keep it moving. But when you notice that it's a habit, it's a pattern, right? I sound like the old people. Pattern. That's where I have a problem. And guess what? As a human, I have the right to click off. And that's what I did. So him being on the 5150 show with Corey Holcomb, it aligns. I'll just say that. I ain't never been a fan of Corey Holcomb. Never. He has said some of the most diabolical stuff. I've seen clips that people reacted to, and I'm like, I would never give this guy a view ever in my life. Now, when the Corey and Anton stuff came out, I had to watch it because other people were reacting to it, And I'll be honest, I ain't a fan of neither one. I used to be cool, not cool, but a fan of Anton's when he did the morning show. And I was like, oh, this guy is so inspiring. I even left him a super chat one time because I was like, yes, I want to do that. Then I started watching his panels. Big mistake. I should have stuck to the morning show. Because I got to see what he really was about. I was like, yo, both of these niggas I don't rock with. So I wasn't on either side, honestly. I don't give a damn. They both can burn in the pits of hell for all I care. But Poetic Flakko went in. If Corey Holcomb still has a career by next week, I would be surprised. And some of the most atrocious, egregious, disgusting, Epstein file-ish stuff you will ever hear came out of that man's mouth. And Darlene sat there laughing. Which means you condone it. If I'm sitting next to a guy and he's saying that 16 and 15-year-old punani is better than a grown woman, my first question is, how the do you know? Number one, if I'm sitting next to a guy that says a 5-year-old wanted him and just, I can't even repeat it. It was just that disgusting. I had a dream about this stuff. And you sat there and you laughed with him. You deserve all that's coming to you too. You simple hoe. But her final straw was holding up a t-shirt that was offensive to somebody. No, I can sit up here and let you talk about going to Thailand and hiring people underage because it's legal there, and laugh at that, and laugh at you calling a 5-year-old having a destiny to be an HOE when she grows up. I can laugh at that. But you want me to hold up a t-shirt? No, that's where I draw the line, Corey Holcomb. Are you kidding me? You simple wench. I'm pissed just thinking about it. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. You have these women that want to be part of the boys club so bad. They want to be accepted. They want to be part of the crowd. They want to be part of the manosphere, the red pill. They want to be it. And this whole time you selling out young women that look up to you. It's a dirty game. That's why there is that scripture that says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of it. You love money so much, you're willing to sacrifice common sense and decency and a love for children so you can get paid a couple $1,000s to sit next to a buffoon? What up, Cases and Cam? But y'all check out Poetic Flakko. He got in. A-Team said, that's true. We shouldn't be so easily influenced by others. Yeah, but we are, right? Why are we that way? I think a lot of us just haven't come into our own. A lot of us haven't developed our own purpose in life. And a lot of us haven't gotten enough motivation and wasn't fed into. So we look to outside sources like fraternities and, these groups and people online to connect to so we can just feel a part of something, But I'm telling you right now, you have to go to the source for all of that. So many times I was so interested in a man making me happy, or my friends making me happy, or my kid making me happy. None of that worked. But him, absolutely. I'm filled. You don't see me on here crying about not having a man. You don't see me on here crying about my kid acting stupid today. You don't see me on here talking about I got no friends. You know why? Because I'm full. My source is the Most High. Get you some. ASAP. Chitlin Taco. Sal says, I'm under a rock. Who is Poetic Flakko? Just a YouTuber. Yeah, Craig is a yes man, for sure. But you got to understand, two birds of a feather flock together. So if you're sitting there and you're condoning everything your friend says, whether you're getting paid to or not, at some point you agree with what's being said and done. You know? Darlene is full of shit. Oh, raggedy heifer. She just looks so dumb sitting up there too. It's like, how do you just sit there? You let the man next to you degrade women right in front of you and you just, it's weird. The whole time she probably, because she be on her phone a lot, right? The whole time she probably looking at her bank account like, I can't give this up. I can't give this up. Yeah, he talking S. Yeah, he done talked about me. Yeah, he done made me look like a fool, but dang it. Look at all these zeros in my account. It's worth it. Thank you. So he ended up firing her. Well, I don't know if it's a... He told her on his platform, since she didn't want to hold up the show, what up, BDBGP? I'll find somebody else to do it. Like, basically, bitch, you are dispensable. I can find somebody else to do this since you don't want to do it. And she got offended. Like, what? Oh, man, it ain't even like that. Just looking as pathetic. Begging somebody to keep your job. And then she had the nerve to go on her own platform talking about projection, but she tried to do it in a loving way. Girl, Corey don't give a damn. And he don't give a damn about you. That man don't give a damn about his own children. So, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad she sees what it is. Period. You want to sit up there and condone some ignorance? Okay. There's people all the time that say, oh, this person, yeah, they may be mean to such and such and such and such, but they ain't never done that to me. So I'm good. I ain't never had a problem. Just wait. You just wait your turn. They eventually will turn on you. You have to look at the whole character of a person. How they treat other people is eventually how they will treat you. Right now, they getting what they want out of you. So they gonna be nice as long as they getting what they need. But as soon as you don't do what they want, I mean immediately, things change and the tables turn. Oh, you got a crew for Family Feud for Saturday? Cree, you got your crew? So anyways, my son's break after school has been long enough, and he's taking advantage of the fact that I'm on live and exercising. So he gonna continue to do what he do. He don't have the discipline to just stop. Even though I told him at 5 o'clock, it's time for you to start doing your homework, right? Valentine's Day is coming up. If you are alone, it's okay. If you got somebody, do something special, okay? Do something nice. Now, I know Valentine's is typically just for the woman, you know, but it's okay, ladies, to do a little something extra for your husband. See, last year I talked about Valentine's Day and I talked about the women getting freaky for their man, but I didn't put it in the context of marriage. So I took it down because I was like, I don't want to promote that. Even though I know it happens. It's natural. Hell, I'll probably do it again before I get married, but that don't mean I have to promote it, right? So if you are married, even if you're not happily married, do something different and see what happens. You might get happy and things might change for the better. You know what I'm saying? I know, right, Lee Turner? What is that? Valentine's Day? What is that? Just another day on the calendar. Just another day on the calendar. But a lot of people really hold that near and dear to their hearts. I'm big on Valentine's Day too. Always have been. Like, you better get me something. Some people don't care. But if you are with somebody that does care, just do something for them. Do something nice. It's not gonna hurt you. It really ain't. Yeah, just look him up when you get a chance. He's on here. He's got a pretty big channel, I think. I don't watch his stuff a lot. I just watched somebody react to him, and I was like, oh, that's Poetic Flakko going in. And I mean, he had damaging clip after damaging clip after damaging clip. I'm like, yo, how do people consciously watch that and feel okay? I mean, I've listened to people say some really egregious stuff that just turned me completely off. Like, yo, so egregious, I couldn't watch him anymore because I was just like, where is your mind at? Like, you got to really be battling some shit for that to come out of your mouth. Cricri says, I haven't celebrated Valentine's Day in 20 years. What? She's like, my marriage ain't tied to no one day, child. We got Valentine's Day every other day of the year. I heard that. I heard somebody say, the more you flaunt your relationship online, the more trouble that relationship is in. And that the people that don't flaunt their relationship as much are the happiest. And I think there might be some truth to that. Because I've known couples who... Let me shut up. But, yeah. As long as you're treating your partner with respect every single day. Taking the time to understand what it is that they're saying. And making sure that we communicate in a way that's healthy and effective. You might have to drop some truth bombs that's going to hurt. But I think as long as it's done in love, that's what matters. And that's with really any relationship. You want to make sure that you're communicating effectively to not tear down, but to help build up. South 343, he says, me and wifey at the point where Valentine's Day is for the kids. We're just lucky to get a kid-free day and hang out. I know that's right. I know that's right. Drop them off at the grandparents and go out and have a date and just enjoy it and make another baby. You know? That's why relationships fail with reality start. Yeah, because everything is on the front line. So you're giving everybody else the opportunity to judge your life and the decision that you make. And that actually starts to sink in. You start reading the comments. You know, people reacting to your business. Because everybody got an opinion. Right? And it really does weigh in. And a lot of these superstars would have you think that they are, you know, that they have superpowers. And they're not affected by the public opinion. But at the end of the day, they're human just like us. And they have feelings and they are people. And the problem is that they sold their souls for money and fame. And when you love money so much, you will embarrass yourself and your family name just for that mighty dollar. And that's why these relationships don't last, because you're literally opening a portal for Satan to infiltrate your relationship. And I think it's the same for people that post all their business on Facebook and YouTube and everything else, giving everybody an opinion on your life, you know. I believe that we should be telling people certain things about our lives, testimonials and things that we overcame in order to help somebody. But when you're doing it just for the dollar, it comes off that way. And so you get what you get, you know. That's why you can't idolize athletes and entertainers at all. Hey, Sheila. You can't. Not at all. They ain't nothing to be. Let me tell you something. These people got more issues than you can ever imagine. So many issues. Mental illness. Physical diseases. Demons. All kind of stuff that they're exposed to, and they can't get it out. They can't tell a psychiatrist. They can't tell a psychologist because they're afraid that that person might tell the business. You can't even go to the courthouse and file for divorce without TMZ posting your divorce papers. I wouldn't envy that for nothing in the world. Can I use some of their money? Absolutely. But it ain't the end all be all. If you can't even enjoy that money, what kind of life is that? Paul says only Jesus, the living water, can satisfy the thirsty soul. That's right. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. He said it. So you look for them riches and fame, approval and clout. That stuff don't make you happy. You think it do. It's temporary though. Happiness is only temporary. And God didn't say that you're going to live a happy life. There's going to be ups and downs. The goal is to enjoy a joyous life. And the way you get there is by having gratitude. Having gratitude for what you do have. Sometimes I even have gratitude for the things I don't have, because I know for a fact that if I had it, I would be a mess. So, y'all see me sweating today? Your girl done worked out. Your girl done worked out. Best part of waking up. That's right. That is right. Absolutely. I got a bone to pick with whoever told me to get that Bustelo coffee. Who was that? Who was it? I have a feeling Lauren Krause was one of them. I don't know if it was Lee Turner. That's right, Cree. Jesus is the reason. All day, every day will always be. Always. Why do you think Christians are attacked so much? Why do you think you got so many false prophets and money-hungry pastors in there? Because they know Jesus is the way. So Satan is going to bring people like that to dishevel and to destroy and conquer. They're not out here bothering the tree huggers. Satan ain't out here bothering Buddhists. They living peaceful because Satan already got them. Think about it. I drink something. Whoa, you drink something stronger than Bustelo? Girl, that Bustelo had me. I'm talking about, I could hear my heart in my ear. Okay? I said, now you know what? Whoever the hell told me, I got a bone to pick with y'all. Because yes, it gave me the energy that I needed. But I thought I was going to die. So what I do now is, because I ain't wasting no coffee, right? I put half Bustelo and half decaf. Because life is all about balance. It's all about the balance. Chitlins is my only vice, Mo. I know. Chitlin taco you. Yep, in the PR, we make our own coffee, and it's stronger than Bustelo. Lord have mercy. I hope you only drinking 1 cup. Only 1 cup. Sounds like the cure to cancer to me, Rican Princess. I loved your post today. Oh, sorry about your, is it your great aunt? I read that one too, and right before I could reply to the post, my phone died, and then I forgot to go back to it. But the one that you posted today about unity and Puerto Ricans getting it out of the mud and not relying on the United States government. You know, All it really takes is unity. That's really, I mean, it's the same thing we've been telling our brothers and sisters in the Black community. If we just came together and pulled our resources together, what we could do. We wouldn't need to rely on the government. But we're so selfish and we're not willing to sacrifice just a little bit to get to the mountaintop together. It's your godmother. God bless her. I hope she's doing better. But it is really hard to get a lot of people to get on the same page if it's about something positive. And we could all get on the bandwagon with something toxic real easy, real quick, and fast in a hurry. But when it comes to something positive, where you're going to have to deny yourself just a little bit in order to see the light at the end of the tunnel, that is very hard for a lot of people. And it's very unfortunate. What is a mocha pot? I don't blink after a cup. I'm like, I don't have to blink. Oh, an espresso maker. Yeah. Yep. They say 1 cup a day is good. But if you're drinking a whole lot, that's not good. And me, I'm getting too old. I can't afford for my heart to be jumping out of my chest. I'm too old for that. I need a little energy, a little pick-me-up, but not like that Bustelo. Don't ever sneak and give me a little bit of that Puerto Rican you got. Nope. Like a crackhead. 3 days. I didn't get to bed till 3 o'clock one day. Dumb. I had to burn it off. Now I'm rubbing my belly like an old man. Let me get off here, y'all. Because now my son done turned on the TV and he really think he chilling. And he went and grabbed a snack. So he think he about to chill. But he's in for a rude awakening. You hear me, Bishop? Yeah. Huh? All right, y'all. God bless. Thanks for being here. Remember to be original. Remember that God is the ultimate source. We can rely on friends and family and things like that for support, but the Most High is the ultimate main source. That's all you need. That's really all you need. And guess what? God will bring the right people around you to support you, but you have to rely on Him. All right, let me go.